Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Max Harlow and I'm mostly a software developer, but I've also spent a lot of time working with journalists at a couple of different newsrooms. The thing I want to talk to you about today is something that I was involved in organising called Journocoders, which is it's an idea to try and get to bring the culture of knowledge sharing, which exists so much in the world of technology, and bring it to the world of journalism at a time when newsroom budgets are shrinking pretty much everywhere. So this story really starts at the end. A couple of us came across this group called Journocoders a number of years ago, and we signed up because we were people who were interested in journalism and code. But we'd never actually met in real life, and until we got this email from the guy that started organising it, saying that he was shutting it down and he'd given up on the idea. And it was at that point that we decided we were going to take it over. So the first thing we did was meet in this pub, which is less pixeled in real life. And we had to decide what we wanted Journocoders to be. We just had this name, Journocoders, and it was up to us to really define what that was. And in London, there's a very active Hacks and Hackers chapter. So we wanted to do something that was different and distinct from what they were doing. And the idea that we came up with was that the thing that's really missing is a space to learn practical, technical skills for doing journalism. So this slightly less pixel picture is a typical Journocoder session. This is one of the ones in London. It was taken a couple of weeks ago. We meet in the evenings after work. We meet monthly. It's free to come. Everybody brings their laptop. And we get a range of people. Most people are working journalists, but we also get a few student journalists and a couple of software developers that are based in newsrooms. So the first thing that we do is what we call show and tell. So this is a space where anybody that comes can share a link with all the other people of an article that they've seen, that they've liked, or that's controversial, that's relevant to data journalism. Or in some cases, people also share stories that they've written, and people say a few words about the way it was done. And then after that, we share a link to a tutorial. So these are some of the tutorials that we've followed. This is the last 12 months of the London Journocoders. As you see, there's a real range in there. So we've got sort of data analysis type tutorials, but also data visualization. We've got really core skills such as SQL, as well as things that are a little bit more experimental, like virtual reality charts. So at the end of that tutorial that we all follow, we all tend to go to the pub and we talk about how the tutorial went, and we also do a little bit of networking. And we call this approach peer learning, or at least it's called peer learning. And the idea here is that everybody, if they get stuck on the tutorial, the first thing they do is they turn to the people either side of them and see if they can help. Because often if one person's stuck on something, it's quite common that somebody else will be stuck on the same thing, and they'll be able to help each other out. But of course, the organisers are often on hand to help as well. And this all builds a community amongst these people, but it also builds what I'm calling a culture of knowledge sharing. And this is, as data journalism becomes a more important part of journalism as a whole, we have to think about how journalists are going to keep their skills up to date. Now, newsrooms pretty much the world over are reducing their budgets, especially for training, and coming to conferences or going on courses is expensive. But furthermore, trust in journalism is at an all-time low in many places around the world. And actually, by sharing skills, hopefully we can break better stories despite having often fewer people and fewer resources. So now we have 3 different Journocoders groups. As well as in London, we have a very successful group in Madrid, and Carrie Kehoe, who's possibly here doing some of the training, is setting up another branch in Dublin. And we're up to 1,500 members. But if you don't live in one of these 3 cities, I want to invite people here who are interested in this model to set up a Journocoders where you are. We can help. We have a whole list of tutorials that have worked well in this format. And also, most of the people involved in organising it are actually here in Meckham for the next few days. So we'll be very happy to hear from you. We're also running a few sessions on Sunday on graph databases to find stories, and on virtual reality charts, and it'd be lovely to catch up with you about Journocoders at that point. Thank you.